Hi, I'm John Boiler. I'm co-founder and creative co-chair of 72 and Sunny, and also creative chair of the Constellation group of agencies within the Stagwell group. I'm here today with Raja Rajamannar, who is the CMO and Chief Communications Officer for Mastercard. And we just came out of one of the most inspiring sessions.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to talking to you about it. I must say we are also at the Stagwell Speakers Lounge at Cannes for the 2022 Creative Festival. So it's so nice to have you here with us today. Thank you for taking the time, especially after that amazing spectacle out there.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate having me here.
Yeah.
And I'm still sort of feeling a little high.
Yeah. So
after this presentation, I thought it went off thankfully very, very well.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. But before we do, I just wanted to get a little context from you. I mean, I've seen you speak before, and you talk a lot about at Mastercard. It's a real dichotomy in the brand. You have, and the dichotomy is that Mastercard as a company is a technology company.
Correct.
But it's a human experience brand.
Yes, it's a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
Totally right.
Right.
Yes.
And as a lifestyle brand, how do you bring lifestyle and experiences to your customers? What you just spoke about in there is bringing it to people through the five senses. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So if you look at people, what is the lifestyle of people? You need to understand. For a company like Mastercard, we have got 2.8 billion consumers around the world. So that's literally like 1/3 of the population of the world. And so that cuts across every single spectrum of lifestyle. So in order to sort of boil the ocean and to make sense out of it, we identified 10 passion categories. Music is one, sports is one, shopping, travel, movies, arts and culture, philanthropy, health and well-being. So what we do is we take these 10 passion points and try to give immersive, exclusive, what we call priceless experiences to consumers in those passion points. A passion point is an area of interest which they deeply care about and they are involved in. So for example, if you look at in the world of music, we say, okay, how can we get hold of experiences that you cannot buy with money, but you can get only if you have a Mastercard? So we go ahead and sponsor, for example, Grammy Awards, the Brit Awards, 85 music festivals around the world we sponsor. And we had partnerships with a number of artists, like, we had Beyonce, we had Asha, we had Justin Timberlake, so the biggest of the names. And we try to then curate experiences out of these partnerships. So as an ordinary consumer, you don't have access to Grammy Awards. But to a small set of people, depending on what competition it is or whatever the criteria that is there, we invite those people. They walk the red carpet along with the stars and the celebrities. They take pictures in front of Step and Repeat. They meet the artists. They get signed memorabilia. All these will make it so memorable, so priceless for the consumers. They remember Mastercard for life.
Raja, how do you select these consumers to participate in these exclusive events? Because Mastercard, after all, is quite an accessible brand.
It is, it is. So this is not meant to be exclusionary, but be as inclusive as possible. So for example, what we do, say we go to a particular country, say India. So we talk to our banks because we don't directly issue cards to consumers. We provide the technology platform which the banks use to issue their cards, debit card, credit card, prepaid card, whatever it is. So we talk to, for example, a bank, say one of the banks there, HDFC Bank, hypothetically. And we say, hey guys, we got this asset. Do you want to run a promotion for your consumers? Do you want to win them back? Do you want to win their loyalty? How do you really want to engage your consumers?
So you do it through your partners, and
Through
your
our
partners select the participants.
They do it, and each one has a different criteria. And then that's how we do it at one level. Second, we also do some things through directly to consumers, which is we actually have a site called Priceless.com, which has got a listing of experiences. At any point in time, you find about 1,000 experiences in different categories. These are, again, meant to be inclusive. So you might have experiences which are extremely exotic and very, very expensive, but you also have experiences which might cost you less than $50. Like, for example, if you want to learn some cooking, or you want to teach your children how to make chocolates with one of the best chocolatiers in the world, or if you want to learn wine mixing or mixing of the drinks through a mixologist, we curate those kind of things. And sometimes it could be just like having a mentorship with one of the industry stalwarts for your small startup. That is priceless for a startup company.
Right.
So we try to understand the scope of all the areas that people are passionate about and bring those. So Priceless.com is one of those platforms that we do it.
And when you say technology that empowers these experiences, like you must do that in a variety of ways. I mean, I just saw in the presentation you make original music,
Yes.
You're making products, and then you're using Mastercard technology. Probably, I would, and this is the question: how do you empower those experiences for your customers? Like, how do you empower your customers to enjoy those experiences?
I'll give you a most recent example, which is still fresh in my mind. So when you talk about one of the emerging technologies is the metaverse. So we have been sponsoring Grammy Awards for a number of years. And normally say we have got about 250, 300 people who we are able to give an experience.
Okay.
But the multiplier effect, like when one person goes through the experience, they share it with their friends, family, they brag about it, which is good. And then we amplify their bragging.
On your platform.
On our platforms as paid as well as own. And that gives it a massive scale. So you vicariously you enjoy the experience and say, oh, this person has a Mastercard card, has this great experience, so I better have one too, is one type. Now, technology-wise, what do we do? Technology's advantage is to scale things in a dramatic fashion. How do we do it? So in Metaverse this time, we offered the entire Grammy red carpet experience on Metaverse, which means you first go into the platform and you create your avatar. Then you dress up your avatar in layers. So there are lots of, designed by some special designers and all that stuff. You do that. Then you walk the red carpet. There are avatars of other celebrities going in front and behind you. Your avatar stands in front of Step and Repeat. And then you take your picture, selfie. From there you go, watch the concert. Then go behind the stage, meet the avatars of our brand ambassadors, and get signed memorabilia in the form of NFTs.
Now, does this exist currently?
It has happened.
Is
We
it
did it.
really?
And
so I'm imagining that social channels are flooded with everyone's selfies of themselves with their avatars.
This we treated, absolutely, and this we treated as our first pilot of its scale. So we were sort of a little cautious, because if something didn't work, we didn't want an amplification that it did not work. What we wanted to make sure was that it worked. And we tried out so many things in this. The beautiful stuff is that we could have a reach of 26 times more people could get this experience in the metaverse compared to real life. And the incremental cost for this is very marginal. That's what technology does.
And did that generate a lot of conversation as
yes.
well?
Tons of conversation.
So we had engagement then from not just obviously the participants and their close friends, but probably the wider audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
There
you're
is general
reaching a lot.
interest. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like imagine when you're reading a magazine like as a People, or those kind of magazines. When you look at it, you're looking at the lifestyles of stars, celebrities, what they're doing. You're vicariously living that altered reality. Now here, when your friends are going through the metaverse and they're having all this, it's fun for you to involve yourself in it and experience it in some sense, and then hoping that you'll also be part of it in future.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. So listen, I know we're probably running out of time, but I've got one more question. Having just sat through that work and seen some of the truly priceless experiences that you're creating for your customers, what is the strategic framework that you use to say yes and no, not that? How do you choose? Because when I looked at that array from perfume to solo albums and things like that, what have you said no to?
Oh, I have said no to thousands of things. So we are very selective, very picky and choosy. So firstly, it's easy to pick up anything and say, this is priceless. It truly has to be priceless. Otherwise, you're watering down the concept of priceless. You don't want to do that. It has to be unique. It has to be special. It has to be memorable. These are the considerations from a psychology point of view, consumer's perspective. Then from a business perspective, is it affordable for me? Can I put money required to make it happen flawlessly, seamlessly, and give a delightful experience to the consumers? Is it scalable? If it is one and done, you cannot do one and done kind of activities where you're having 5 people have fantastic experience and leave it at that. I look at scalability. And then also what we see is we don't want to be exclusionary. The idea is, you might be an ultra high net worth individual, or you might be at the other end of the socio-economic spectrums. We want to create stuff that is priceless for you. And priceless is not about money. It's not about price. It is so valuable in terms of the quality and the impact it leaves, you cannot put a price on it, and that's what is priceless.
That's a great framework. So again, thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to add for the people out there that are probably very interested in how you create these priceless experiences?
Yeah, I would say three things. First and foremost, we have released our album called Priceless. Surprise, surprise. And it's available on Spotify immediately.
Great.
And very soon it'll be there on other music platforms that people normally use, whether it is iHeart or Apple Music or whatever. It'll be wonderful for them to actually look at it, and if I can get any feedback, that's good, bad, ugly, whatever, hopefully not ugly. But if I can get some feedback on that, that'll be fantastic. The second thing is, last year, all these concepts I tried to pull together into a framework of like a playbook for marketing of the future. I called it quantum marketing. And it has become, I wrote this book last year, February. It has become a Wall Street Journal bestseller, published in 11 languages.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's won 6 awards, and it's being used as the main reference book at 226 colleges around the world where they are teaching MBA or advanced management programs and so on. So I would really love for people to read that. It's available everywhere, and you can just go to Amazon or wherever. And the last one I would also say is that this is a sincere advice to marketers. This is the most exciting time that we are in the world of marketing. Things I could dream of 30 years back, I can make them a reality today. No better time to be there, whether it is from a creative angle, or whether it's from a technology angle, from a reach. Everything is so phenomenal. Please learn. There is so much to be learned because things are changing so dramatically right now. If you don't learn, you get obsolete. But if you invest time in learning, I spend 5 hours every weekend trying to learn something. And I would really encourage every one of you to learn, stay ahead of the game, and realize the gifts of technology, of data, and everything that we are right now in the midst of. And to me, that will be truly priceless.
That's excellent. Raja, thank you so much for being
so
here
much for
today.
having me.
And you are truly one of the most curious and engaged marketers I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Thank you for
so
being
much.
with
That's
us.
a huge compliment. Thank you. Very grateful for it.